feels super good.
All right, we're on Disco Acid Cult TV. Dude, in that intro, the Mozart part, uh, is that Gregorian chanting? Like, what would you call that?
I don't know. What
Doesn't
would you
it sound like
call it?
it's to me? I mean, I know they're not, but whenever I hear it, to me, it sounds like they're saying, "Oh, Hollywood." Do you not get
Uh,
that?
okay, so I'd have to listen to, so whenever you play the intro, my screen just freezes until you go
Oh
live.
yeah, huh?
It does that, but I've heard the intro before. I'd have to go in and listen to it again, like
Yeah,
on the page.
listen to that Mozart song when they do it's the like the chanting. Yeah, Francis, I think this is the first time anyone's ever beat Protomax, and you even had a "Let's fucking go" like it is.
He
But yeah,
was
no, it always sounds like
heavy.
to me they're chanting, "Oh, Hollywood." Like I said, I know they're not. It's just that's what I hear.
I wonder why it freezes.
Yeah, it's weird. You're the only person that does that for too. No one else ever like Trey sees it.
Oh, no, mine like it'll show like one slide and then it goes to the end. I don't know. Is that like an Apple thing? I don't know.
I don't. He also is on an Apple
Oh,
laptop.
so just me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
All right. Okay, so I found out 10 minutes ago, and people are going to have different opinions on this. I'm actually pissed off that apparently, as of January of this year, Meta has decided to remove all Instagram filters. So everybody has to just show who they are now. And they kept like 10 filters out of the millions of them that people created, but it's only the ones that Meta has made, and it's only the ones where it kind of like alters some background color. They removed all beauty filters. So, I know you probably don't care. I care because like I had some filters that I just liked, that kind of like changed the color of the background a little bit. Now it's gone, so we all just have to show our ugly selves.
Well, no, I was gonna say I care because I use filters to cover my split ends. That's why my
Yeah,
hair looks decent in my
now it
pictures.
gets fucked. So what I've seen, and I did some research, looks like everybody's going back to Snapchat because they still have them.
Wait, do you mean the filters like when you take a story?
Yes, when you go to a story, there's some that will show up, but some of them like you'll click them and it'll say like your phone no longer supports this. Um,
Oh
and-
yeah, some of your previously saved effects are no longer available.
yeah, and then there's like because there used to be like millions of them, and now when you go to search, if you type in like you go to search and you type in like anything like vampire or cute or whatever, like nothing will come up. They only give you the ones that Meta has made.
My favorites are still there, which is good, but I wonder why. That's so weird.
Well, so there's an article I saw and it said that they did it because
Catfish?
um the use of beautifying filters has been linked to body image issues and worsened mental health in young people. So that's why they've gotten rid of all their filters. So that fucking sucks. So
That's
now everybody's fleeing to Snapchat
well,
to
first
take
of
their
all,
photos.
I can't use Snapchat because when you're over 30, you're done on Snapchat.
I know. It's like I logged into my Snapchat right now for the first time in about 7 years. Oh my God. Because they don't delete your photos. So I was like, oh no, like what is this? It's just, I
Snapchat was
don't want to go back to Snapchat.
I mean, I won't. I'll just one, like I said, I just saw a few of my favorite filters are still there, so that's good for me. But two, just fucking get like a photo leap and just edit your pictures before you get them into Instagram. I use photo leap for a lot of shit.
I've
But
never heard of that. I was trying to look up like different apps to use, but I couldn't find like I want one that's basically free or little to no charge.
Photolep is free. I have the paid version just because I use it for the page, but there's a free version and it's a really good. Uh,
Okay, I'll try it out.
I like it better. I used to have Visco, but then Visco got kinda lame. I'm gonna go back to this comment. Yeah, people are gonna have to be their true ugly selves. I mean, what if it evens the playing field? Like, what if guys like me start pulling, like, 8s and 9s on Instagram now and shit
But
because, like
here's the thing is like all these influencers, they weren't editing their photos on Instagram. They were doing like paid photo shoots and using paid apps. So it doesn't make sense. It's
yeah,
like why are they deleting the filter of like, turning your face into like some fruit? Like that shit's funny. Like
it's virtue
why would they
signaling.
need to it's just like so stupid.
It's virtue signaling. Instagram knows. Everybody who is anybody actually edits their pictures before they even get to Instagram. No shit. Instagram is not a
Yeah.
full-powered photo editor. It's not like a so it's just virtue signaling. They're just trying to say, "Oh, yeah, we care about the kids that are, low self-esteem, and so we're gonna get rid of our filters and do our part to help the cause." It's virtue signaling.
Yeah.
But then the people that like to, turn their faces into bananas and shit, they're fucked. You're all shit out of luck because Mark Zuckerberg wants to virtue signal.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I I really thought you were gonna go all in and say, Meta's getting rid of their, like, fact checking whatever they're doing with the whole fact checking thing.
Oh, they are doing that though.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think it's just to me, it's still I think every social media app should just get rid of all of their fucking just let the internet go back to the Wild West, let the people police themselves. If some
Well,
kids kill
that's
themselves because they can't handle it, then they shoulda got the fuck out of the kitchen before they even got in there.
I mean, that's what they're doing with Instagram, and they're bringing back like the old filters from like 2010, you know? So, but yeah,
Yeah.
now we just have to see each other.
No,
I
yeah,
don't
no,
know.
like you said, the OnlyFans girls will still have perfectly edited filtered pictures because 'cause they'll be doing
Yeah.
it, in professional, paid apps before they even get to it's it's just virtue signaling.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting. I mean, I only noticed that because I went onto the app now and like, click to create a story, but nobody's talking about this. So I don't know if everybody's so in depth with the fires that they're like, who gives a fuck? But there's like nothing going on. I'm surprised
Uh,
because you think the kids would be like, what the fuck?
it seems like the fire thing it's already over now, like, I really don't see like, I woke up this morning and then the internet's got really nothing fire related, like, we really
Yeah, no, that's kind of how it feels is the news now is just like
oh, yeah.
just stories of like just stories of what happened to people and there's nothing new going on because they still have all the areas evacuated and so people are just kind of in this like lull right now of like when can I go back home. It's crazy because like the fire that was like right near me that came up to so the people up in the hills in Encino had to evacuate. The fire didn't even reach them, but they had to leave. They're still under evacuation and there's a whole city of people that are like, why can't we go back home? The fire didn't even reach us. There's no reason that we shouldn't be home. So it's weird. It's just so bizarre.
I think
But
LA is up to some fishy shit.
yeah, I mean, most likely.
But, yeah, it seems, I complained about the fast news cycle of today. Like, dude, I'm still not over them finding cocaine in the White House like last year. I couldn't believe they found bags of cocaine in the White House and we were over it within 12 hours. And I'm like, dude, when I was a kid, George Bush would have been on TV like in absolute disgrace, begging for forgiveness from the people. You know what I mean? Like this would have
Yeah.
been a huge scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Now half of LA burns down. That got like 2 or 3 days. I was actually surprised this fire lasted. As far as I'm talking in the news, like social media trending topics, like at
Yeah.
least 2 or 3 days. That's more than most things get. It's funny, it only got 2 or 3 days because it's LA, it's the Holy Land. The hurricane in North Carolina, I feel like that got about a day.
Yeah.
Realistically, no, that got a couple days too, but overall, LA is going to get the longest time. But yeah, no, everything moves on way too fast nowadays. Like nothing, you have no time to
Yeah,
even.
no time to process. I mean, it's like the local news here just keeps talking about all the things that FEMA are going to do. Like, I didn't realize that when you have these natural disasters, I was kind of speculating like what happens, like do people just have to like wait around and then clean up their lots themselves? But no, apparently FEMA goes in and they do all the cleanup, which is kind of like, I don't know, that could be it. I mean, I think that's great, but it's also kind of like, I don't know,
I
little
bet you there's,
strange.
I bet you there's a lot of people that would like to do their own cleanup or at least be involved in the
Yeah,
cleanup. Yeah,
because apparently FEMA just dropped like $500 million to clean up Altadena and the Palisades. So they're going to go because they're saying that there's so many toxins now in the air, which I totally agree. I get all those homes are like old as fuck. So I'm sure there's everything under the sun over there. So yeah, you need guys like in hazmat suits for sure. But
imagine
they're
all the imagine all the drugs they burned up in those houses too.
yeah. I mean, there was something like I saw something where I think it was in the Palisades where like a house burnt down and then there was like an Oscar like laying in the pile of rubble, which I was like, "Oh, wow." And then there was another one where like um yeah, some guy's Emmy survived. So there's like all these celebrities that just lost everything. It's crazy. But that I don't know. Okay, so Heidi and Spencer from what were they in The Hills? You know that show?
I
You remember
recognize the
that
names.
show? Heidi and Spencer, they were like reality stars. So they've been in the news here a ton because they're just kind of like low level reality stars that have like kind of casted by over the years, and they lived in the Palisades and they lost everything and didn't have insurance. So now they're trying to like rally for all of the reality stars and celebrities that we're just kind of like coasting by paycheck to paycheck and don't have insurance. Um, so what they're showing now in the news is like, I guess when Heidi was on The Hills, she had this like brief stunt, like all those girls back then, where she came out with an album. And so she's like re-releasing the album like 20 years later with a music video and like trying to get other celebrities to like hype that up. It's like,
It's terrible.
yeah, it's kind of cringe, but I mean, that's terrible that they lost everything. But it's also like they have a multi-million-dollar home on the beach and they didn't have home insurance.
They could have had insurance,
Yes.
but that whole thing happened with all the insurance places. They all pulled out because
Yeah.
that's one of the fishy things. All the homeowners insurance places, I can't remember what it was. It's either California or federal. They tried to do some kind of price control where they were saying, we're not going to allow you to, usually insurance places would bump up the prices in a place like LA when it comes to fire, which is
No,
another
because it's
example of why
just
price control is not the answer. But I don't, we don't have to get into shit like that. I don't understand all this like financial stuff.
well,
But I know that the insurance places pulled out. Like it seemed like fucking days. I think realistically like weeks or months before this fire, and that's part of the suspicious thing. It's like, well, how does State Farm know to pull out all their claims and then this fire just happens? Like what, it's the same way that LA lowered the budget for fire and then the fire happened. Like why what?
well, I want to say like I think it was in August because Nick and I own our house. We got a letter in the mail saying that like at the end of August they were going to get rid of our home insurance. And so Nick, I guess he called, what is it like? I guess is it like AAA? They do home insurance, so he got it again through them. And then I guess like when you call to get home insurance, like when he called, the guy had to look up our address, and he was like, "Okay, if you live like by any means near any kind of wilderness or a park or like a group of trees, we can't give you insurance." So luckily, like our home was like perfectly situated to where we could get it. So now we have home insurance and fire protection. But yeah, like it, if you live anywhere where there's like, you know, like a bunch of grass or trees, they'll just take it away. So yeah, it's very sus.
You ever think about how much of a scam insurance is? Like, dude, it's the fact that I live near a bunch of trees that I need insurance. Like, and just the idea of, hey, I'm gonna pay you a large sum of money every month. You know, let's say I'm a very loyal customer. I've been paying you every month for 12 years. Now, finally, something happens and you deny my fucking claim. What are you doing with the
Yeah.
money I've been giving you for the last 12 years? The whole,
No, I know.
it's so ridiculous. And then the fact that, you know, when it comes to auto, you cannot drive a car unless it's insured. Bro, I'm an adult. If I want to take the risk of driving my car without insurance, I should also be able to drive without my fucking seatbelt on. It's
Yeah.
I got fucked by when I lost my last car, I got into a car accident that I still to this day I mean, I'm not going to say that I maintain. I'm telling you basically that I got hit from behind. Like the shit was not my fault. But I had shitty garbage insurance that was basically just like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Their whole thing was, "Oh, send us a picture of the four corners of your car, and then we'll let you know." I sent them the pictures, and then I took more pictures because I was like, "Hey, the four corners don't show the damage on the back of the car." Most of the damage was to the front of the car. It was like a weird deal where they hit me from behind, and then I think they tried to kind of move, but by the time they hit me from behind, my car had turned. So then when
Hmm.
they also tried to swerve, they hit me in like the front. It basically hit me in the driver door. The shit kind of was gnarlier than I get. Like I got off pretty lucky. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, and my insurance place told me, you know, they did all the stuff and they're like, "Oh yeah, so we basically found you 51% at fault. So we're not gonna." It's like, first of all, I've never heard of what do you mean 51% at like I've never heard of this. I was like, "Are you not gonna send someone? Do you not have an office in like around Sacramento? Can you not send a guy here to look at the fucking car? Like, why am I sending you pictures of my cars through email?" The
Yeah.
fu the whole thing was just ridiculous, and so, yeah, no, so I got no money, I just got my car totaled, yeah, the whole thing sucked. I'm like, "What have I been paying you for? Like, why
Yeah.
am I giving you money every month?" Drugs and whores should also come with insurance plans, I think, like, if you're gonna go, what's that notorious street in LA where all the prostitutes hang out? Oh,
Which one? There's like so many of them.
there's one, God, what's it called? Hooker Street in LA, dude. Dirty
What?
white boys always making fun of my Google search history. Figueroa Street,
Oh, that's downtown LA. Downtown, all of downtown
South
LA.
LA.
It's like,
They call
yeah,
it the Fig. They say if you're hanging out on the Fig, they know what you're doing. When you go to Figueroa Street in South LA, there should be an
yeah,
option to purchase insurance.
yeah. I avoid downtown like no tomorrow. I would never go down there unless I'm like going to a show.
The Museum of Death is in like downtown Hollywood, I think, because we went there. I've only been to LA to go to Disneyland, but then the one time I went to the Museum of Death, it was in like you could see the Hollywood sign from the street we were on.
Yeah, I've
And
seen it, but I've never been.
you should check out the Museum of Death. It's incredible. But
I've
it,
heard.
it's on a street where like dude, one wrong step and like somebody's gonna sell crack to my girlfriend or like
Of course.
somebody's gonna stab me from behind. Like I was like watching. You know, I get into like protective zones. So I'm like watching carefully as we walk to the car. I'm like escorting her. Like, don't fucking look around. I'll do the looking around for you. Don't look like I'm looking left and right across the street. And I'm like, just look straight ahead. Yeah, that shit was crazy. I didn't realize that downtown, you'd think like downtown Hollywood would be like a nice.
No, hell no.
Yeah, it's
Um,
funny.
so I got an email right now from the whiskey the Whiskey A Go Go, because sometimes I go see shows there. So they're saying like they sent me an email right now about their new shows for February, and get this. So they're gonna have Slaughter. Do you remember Slaughter?
They've got that song, "Fly to the Angels." Fly to the Angels. Am I thinking of the right one? I know I am. You know you've got to fly high,
the
fly
whole
to the
it's like it
angels.
says Slaughter one night only, and they're playing on a Sunday night.
You,
Of
you
course.
gotta go. You gotta go.
And then they're playing with a bunch of other bands that just suck. Then they also have where
It's
did
this
it go?
band.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go for me. I love this song.
Then Hinder is playing.
Oh, you have to go.
It says Hinder Back to Life tour with Salvia.
Saliva?
Saliva.
No
Sorry, yeah,
way.
that's Saliva.
Dirty White Boy, you better still be in the show. Please go see these shows. Please go see Hinder and Saliva at the same show. Drunken Japan, yeah, the Gigi Allen exhibit is pretty fucking wild. I hate Gigi Allen like as a musician, but as a character. Actually, his song, he does a cover of he does that cover. It's like Rosalina or something. What the fuck is it called? Hold on, we'll get back to these whiskey shows.
Okay.
It's not Rosalina. It's oh my god, I'm gonna feel stupid. Carmelita. Carmelita. He talks about how being on the outskirts of town doing heroin. It's a really like pretty little acoustic cover that Gigi Allen does, and you're like surprised that he can sing. Dude, please go see Slaughter and go see Saliva and Hinder. There's no way you're missing those for me.
Well, so then all the other ones are just, cover bands. So there's the Van Halen cover band, of course, a Led Zeppelin cover band, an Eagles cover band, and a Doors cover band.
I'd go see the Eagles cover band just because the Eagles are one of the greatest bands of all time. I love the Eagles. It's like it's ridiculous. I've surpassed the phase where you start listening to the music your mom listened to. I'm now listening to the music that my grandfather listened to, and I'm a big Eagles guy.
And then they just have like one rap group, of course. Of course. You know what? The whiskey sucks though. It's like $20 for a beer. It's I know
Everything everywhere everybody is Warren Zevon the person that does the Carmelita track? Because yeah, that's dude, it's a really good song. And yeah, Gigi Allen. When I first heard it, I didn't even realize Gigi Allen could I hate to keep saying pretty, like be that pretty. It's a great track. You guys should all go listen to it. Carmelita. The only thing by Gigi Allen I will listen to. Everything else is trash. I hate punk music. But yeah, again, dude, go see Slaughter. All you have to do is just get a video of them playing the chorus of Fly to the Angels for me. That's all I want. I'll pay the ticket. I'll buy your tickets to these shows. I'll buy you a $20 beer. I don't care. And then you have to go see Hinder. Get a video of the chorus of Lips of an Angel. Oh, and also get a video of the chorus that has to play Better Than Me. Is it better than me or better than you? I think it's better than me.
Let's see who is playing that I really do want to see is Pentagram.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Let's see. Yeah, this lineup just like fucking sucks. They always have a Doors cover band. Funny enough, I'm actually going to go in March to see a different Doors cover band.
Well, it's the whiskey. Of course they have Doors cover bands.
Yeah, it's just the whiskey just what is this? Oh my god, they have like 3 different Jim Morrisons coming and just next month alone.
Well, the Doors are the reason that the Whiskey A Go Go is the Whiskey A Go. So I mean that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just like the whiskey, like the venue really sucks. Like it's just uncomfortable. Like it's small and it's like it's so overpriced and it's not my favorite venue. But I will go if there is a band that I am dying to see.
I don't like the way they spell whiskey. I like the E in the word whiskey.
Oh yeah.
And they spell it without the E.
But it's crazy, like, so when you go to the whiskey, there's like the main stage, and then you can kind of like stand downstairs. And then what a lot of people do, what I do, is you can go upstairs, and they have this like basically this like dingy deck that kind of looks out. And then there's a bar upstairs. But then they have these like bar tables, and you can rent one, and it's normally like $600 to just like I could be standing, and then I paid like $40 for a ticket, but there's a guy one foot in front of me just sitting down on like a lawn chair, and he paid $600. It's crazy.
Yeah, Hinder, just replying to the comment. Hinder, of course, the first album was
Oh, they have the Iron Maidens, an all-female tribute to Iron Maiden.
I'm not a big Iron Maiden fan, I'll be honest.
Yeah, they're okay.
You know, it's sad
Gee.
to see it's sad to see these like legendary 80s LA places kind of like, you know, like how the mighty have fallen.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know, like Whiskey A Go Go is still Whiskey A Go Go, and like the rainbow is still the rainbow, but obviously it's not. Like, you're not gonna see Vince Neil punching a girl, punching a
Well,
stripper in the
yeah.
rainbow anymore. You're gonna see, you know, honestly, a fat Sebastian Bach still clinging to his youth, drinking at the
I
rain.
mean, I went to I went to the whiskey maybe like a year ago, and I saw Quiet Riot, and that was just depressing because they're just everybody's old, and then it's like all the people that show up in the crowd are the people that lived it back in the 80s, and they're old, and they still are trying to like tease their hair that's falling out. So it's like some guy with the 80s, you know, hair metal hair, and then it's so thin. It's like, dude, just cut it off.
Um,
It's
Drunk in Japan, yeah, no, shows definitely are not the same as they once were. I don't know if that's because of my own age or if that's because everything's just kind of watered down and softer nowadays. The hair metal band guys that still tease their hair, I feel bad for those guys. I talked about this with the Bret Michaels thing because when you became famous for playing in a genre called hair metal, this is quite literally what you're known for. And then, you know, life naturally takes its course and your hair falls. What are you gonna do? Like, it's not your fault. You're a
yeah.
grown ass. You're an old man now. You know, not everyone's lucky. David Lynch was lucky, died with a big head of hair. Charles Manson got to die with a full head of hair. Most guys, I don't think do. So
Okay.
it sucks that they called it hair metal. I use the term hair metal just because it makes sense, but I feel bad for those guys.
So it looks like they're gonna have Steven Adler play.
Steven Adler. I love Steven Adler. Yeah, honestly, it's a little hard after hearing he's admitted to like sucking dick for heroin back in like his bad days. And, you know, no shame in sucking dick. I don't hate people that suck. You know, I don't care. But it's hard when you hear about your heroes sucking dick for heroin. Like that's a hard one. You know, like Kurt Cobain never sucked dick for heroin. Let's get that
Okay,
straight.
so here's something I've never seen before. They're having a Slipknot tribute band called Not Sick. Okay.
Drunk in
That's
Japan. I hate Ramstein, but who is your favorite band that you would pay to see Ramstein over? Not Sick is a weird name for a Slipknot tribute band. It's weird that they're doing tribute bands for bands that are still active and like playing and recording and touring. Like Slipknot is still a band.
yeah, that's fucking weird. I don't know. So
Hair metal wasn't
Slipknot.
cool until the Scene Kids did. It's funny. I always talk about this hair metal and Scene Kids. When I was in high school, my mom used to tell me, she'd say, you know, all the stuff that you guys are doing right now, that's just hair metal, the kind of rehash. And I was, you know, I'm like, you're just old. You don't know what you're talking about. Now I'm like, dude, my mom was completely right. The Scene Kids were just doing the hair metal thing, just kind of, you know, hot topic. Yeah, I'm not a big Slipknot fan. One of the most embarrassing moments of my life was I got a job at some place a few years ago, well, years ago, and the manager, you know, he was like a top 40 radio guy. You know, he probably liked Drake and Kendrick Lamar and stuff like that. And he drove me to lunch one day, and we got in his car, and he saw, oh, let me get on some music that you probably like, and he put on fucking Slipknot, and I was like, you gotta be fucking me. I cut my hair very soon. That was one of my short hair phases.
Did you see the new Bob Dylan movie?
No, and I won't see it because I'm tired of these biopics.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I guess every time I look at the preview, I just see Timothee Chalamet. Like I don't, it's not convincing to me. I listened to he was on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and I was listening to that interview, and he was talking about how he, growing up until like recently, only ever listened to like current pop and rap music. And then when he got this role, he started getting into, 60s and 70s music. And now he feels like he is teaching like the new generation all about Bob Dylan, and I was like, this is so cringe. Like,
What I fucking forgot. Dude,
I know.
imagine being so detached from good taste that you don't listen to 60s and 70s music until you're offered millions of dollars to do so.
I
Fuck
know.
you. Fuck
I know,
that
and
guy.
now he feels like he is paving the way to teach the younger generation
No,
about Bob Dylan.
I
I
would,
was like, fuck off. I've been listening to Bob Dylan since I was like out the womb.
dude,
What
I
do
would
you
fuck
mean?
Timothée Chalamet in the backseat of a car in a fucking Walgreens parking lot. Theo Vaughn is the man. Theo Vaughn, just today, I'm going to watch it as soon as I'm done here and I go for my run. Dave Smith is probably my favorite political commentator guy. He's like a libertarian. He talks shit about everybody. He's one of those guys. He's points out the good things that everybody do. I like him. He was on Theo Vaughn today, so I am going to watch the Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn, I watch him when there's somebody I'm interested in. I don't watch him if I'm not interested. I swear to God, I have a conspiracy theory that Theo Vaughn must have some kind of deal with YouTube. I've talked about this because every single time, like my TV is on right now, it's just on some true crime video that I was watching. I guarantee you, when this true crime video is over in like an hour, it's gonna autoplay to Theo Vaughn. I wake up every
Really?
morning. I wake up every morning at 3 in the morning to Theo Vaughn. I'm not subscribed to his channel. I do not watch him religiously, but somehow every time I leave my TV unattended, YouTube puts it onto
That's
Theo
fun.
Vaughn. Like, dude, he's got to have some kind of backdoor deal with fucking YouTube. It's
That just
crazy.
reminds me of like when you'd wake up in the middle of the night when we were kids and like the Pure Moods ad
Yeah.
would be going.
I liked the CD infomercials for like ballads from the 80s. Like,
Yeah. Oh, you know what's also crazy? So I saw a meme yesterday. So now, like, it was like, can you believe this? And like the Now CDs, now they're on like Now 150 or something
yeah.
like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember buying like Now 3.
I had a Now, so whatever Now CD had It's My Life by Bon Jovi. That's one that I had.
I mean,
And
that was 25 years ago.
I was really into. I remember like sitting in the backseat of my mom's car with the Walkman. Did I ever tell you about the girl calling me out on the Walkman?
No.
When I first started the original Disco Acid Cult Instagram, I was talking to this girl. We're still cool. We still talk. She lives closer to the East Coast, but she's I think 21 right now. And when we started talking on that page, she was I think like 20, either 19 or 20. Obviously, I'm fucking older than this. But we were talking about something, and she was talking about how she likes Limp Bizkit. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, I can get down with this. And I made a comment about how I used to listen to Limp Bizkit on my Walkman. Keep in mind, I didn't actually have a Walkman brand, but I had like a Walkman CD player with the headphones.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. She goes, how old are you? And I was like, what? She's like, I've never had a Walkman. How old are you? I was devastated.
Man.
Dude, the Pop Goes Punk albums were
I
incredible.
remember that.
They got real carried away and they started doing pop or everything goes punk. Some of the best Umbrella by All Time Low, Umbrella by Rihanna, done by All Time Low. That was one of my favorites.
What was the one where they had like the Christian kids singing like all the Now songs? What was that one called? It was like 4 kids.
Oh, Kids Bop.
Yeah.
They weren't Christian kids. They just didn't cut because it was for kids.
But they made the songs, you know.
They were for kids. They were
Yeah.
the clean versions, yeah. You ever seen the meme of the kid doing the Outcast? The "Never meant to make you doubt a" and it's like, have you seen that? And it's like some white kid singing it. Let me pull it up.
No.
Let me it's really bad.
What?
What's that song called? Miss Jackson.
Yeah, by Outcast?
Yeah, so it's like a meme now. You'll see it, like, on YouTube Instagram Shorts and shit. It's like,
Oh,
"Wait, who let this
no.
kid do this?" Okay, let me see. I'm gonna play a short on YouTube here, which I never do. Now that I'm not live streaming to Dirty White Boy's channel, I don't have to worry about, copyright claims, so I'm just gonna let him fly.
Okay.
I might make us watch part of a music video later on too. This, it's
What is this?
listen to this kid. Turn this up just a little bit for everyone.
Me and your daughter got a special thing going on. You say it's popular, we say it's full grown. Hope that we feel this way forever. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Miss Jackson, 10 times out of 9.
Wait,
from blind find.
what? Wait, why did they have him do it?
Who knows? But I know that in the original Outcast song, yes, he says me and your daughter, and he says daughter kind of funny, but this kid.
Yeah.
Me and
Yeah, no, it's like a meme. It's all over the place now. It's awesome.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, Attack doing Katy Perry. Drunk in Japan, one of the worst moments of my life. The very first Vans Warped Tour I went to, I think it was '08 or '09. Katy Perry was performing all year long on Warped Tour. But at the date that I went to, she was not there because she got offered a one-off gig at like a bigger festival, and she went to do that. And I was devastated. I was really there to see Katy Perry for the most part. Yeah, Kids Bop, Kids Bop. I had a Kids Bop album. I had the one
You
with
did?
I had the one with Baby One More Time because I was such a big Britney Spears fan. What's funny is I had the Baby One More Time CD too. I had to get it twice because it was so nice. Hip Swing, yeah, Hip Swing was a good one. This feels illegal, yeah. That kid doing the bro was pulling back. Yeah, like whose idea was it for that to what's funny is, the producers, they have a group of kids and they're like, you're the kid to do this rap in the
Wait,
Outcast song.
so like, were all okay, this could be controversial. When they when they had all the Kids Bop kids, were they all of different variations?
Oh, you're saying it was Kids Bop racist?
Yeah.
I don't know. There were
Because
black.
I don't really remember like much. I mean, I could look it up, but
There were Kids Bop. I mean, there were black kids in the Kids Bop
was
commercials.
it purely like a white?
No, there were black kids. I'm looking
Okay.
at a picture right now. There's a black kid singing on the. They did a cover of "My Humps" by Black Eyed Peas. But from what I'm seeing, there is a white kid in the front. So I don't know. Maybe they just thought they were being like inclusive. Let's let a white kid sing the black parts. This was like the '90s, early 2000s.
Maybe he was the first one to like stand up and say he wanted to do that.
Yeah, it could have been that.
Oh.
Oh, dude, AC 130. I still listen to that Attack. It's still like one of the heaviest fucking tracks and albums. I still love that shit. Yeah, maybe the kid was just like, hey, I want to do this. And they were like, sure.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe, maybe
I wonder
Kids Bop
if
was
there's
racist.
I wonder if there's like a where are they now?
I bet you the kid is afraid to show his face from being like in fear of being accused of cultural appropriation. Are you whitewashing this Outcast song, young man?
I'm sure that's like a thing though, like kids where
Proto Max says different variations is a crazy way to ask if there were black kids in Kids Bop. I don't know what was so hard. Yeah, what made you think like you could have just asked if there were black kids?
It just was. I guess I could have said, did they include all cultures?
Were the producers of Kids Bop, did they see color or not?
Oh my god.
Dude, the Now albums, that stuff was cool. Those CDs, those were the mixtapes back in the day. You just bought a pre-made mixtape. You know, you buy love ballads from the 80s. You buy now that's what I call, top 40 radio. Now you get Kids Bop and then we started doing that shit on iTunes. You know, I made a lot of mixes for girls.
Wait
in
a
high school.
minute. So apparently Zendaya comes from Kids Bop.
Yeah, I believe it. She looks like one of those. She still looks like a Kids Bop singer.
They actually have a number of famous people that have come from them. One being her. I thought she came from the Disney Channel.
Well, she probably went from Kids Bop to Disney.
That's wild.
I feel like the kid acting industry is super weird. Like, remember learning about how Drake Bell was in the Pokemon commercial back in the day? He was like, yeah, I feel like child acting is like, oh, you got a SpaghettiOs commercial? Come be in Hannah Montana. Oh, come over and be in a porn movie tomorrow. Like, they just kind of go all over the place.
Yeah.
They probably, and then you also learn about all these weird examples where, like, some kid auditions to be in a movie and they say, you're not a good fit for this, but how about you sing in Kids Bop?
Who does the fruit salads? Yeah, fruit salad song? No, wait, is that the song?
Fruit salad.
No, the Wiggles. So, apparently it's a thing now because they still tour. A lot of adults or like people our age are going to shows.
Of course, there are adults seeing the Wiggles.
I think it could be funny, but it's a little weird.
I think it's a good way to get yourself into some trouble.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. That's like hanging out that's like hanging out at like a Chuck E. Cheese's as an adult.
I had one friend that went and she went with her husband and she said she had a blast. So, but dude, they sat in the back like away.
This is like a weird, and when I say this, I have to acknowledge that I take advantage of this. Like, this is why I still have long hair. This is why I'm still trying to do a YouTube thing. And this is why I have like a John Lennon cardboard cutout and pink lights. We're like the first generation of people that like refuse to grow up. Like,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of people at fault. Obviously, it's our fault, but I do think a lot of it is older people's fault. You ever talk to like your grandpa and you're like, "Oh, hey, I'm like fucking 31 now." And he's like, "Oh, you're still young." Yeah. Like, Grandpa, you were fucking making like you owned a house when you were 17. What are you talking about? I'm still young. Like,
yeah.
And so I think just a lifetime of being told you're still young, but then it's
yeah, who's the gayest guy ever?
That is hands down the gayest guy ever. He's either talking about Dan Schneider or Drake Bell, because Protomax was talking about Protomax. That's the first thing me and Annie talked about on the stream. Actually, was it
was because it was right when the dog came out.
Yeah,
that was sad. That was
I kind of came off as a Dan Schneider apologist on accident. Well, not really. I was mostly critiquing the documentary. My whole argument with the documentary, and this is an argument for everything. I hate how the original idea is that Dan Schneider mistreats children. He's a weird guy with kids. But then that documentary all of a sudden decided that he was also a misogynist and also a racist. And it's like, well, wait, now I don't really believe shit that you guys are saying, because you're telling me Dan Schneider is all just stick with the one, right? Just stick with the way he treats kids. What's up, the more? I still have to email you. Don't worry. I've not forgotten about that. Lost in Never Never Land. In my opinion, Metallica, they shouldn't have put We're Off to Never Never Land. They should have put Now We're Off to Neverland. I don't like the way they said Never Never Land, but it's still a great song. It's still a classic. My mom doesn't like that song.
Okay, so it was her idea. She had her husband take her to go see the Wiggles.
So, dirty white boy, what are you doing when you go home from work one day and your girl's like, "Hey, I want to go see the Wiggles," and just the two of us? That's the dilemma. Me personally, I would tell my girlfriend to sit down and shut up and stop talking, because no, we're not doing that. Yeah, no, the whole point of things like that is you're supposed to take your kids. Like, it's like adults that go to, kids like, dude, if we have kids, yeah, of course.
I mean, they're like 30, so yeah. I don't know. I mean, she posted videos of it. This was like a couple years ago. And she seemed to have a lot of fun, so I don't know. They let just adult couples in.
Teletubbies. The Teletubbies is honestly maybe an exception for me because I love the Teletubbies. The Wiggles, no. Teletubbies, maybe you catch me on a good day. I'll take a girl to see Teletubbies without children. Dirty White Boy's packing his shit. Yeah, packing your shit to go to the Wiggles show. Packing up the minivan for the Wiggles.
Okay, so like here's what I want to know is like, because when they tour at like big stadiums. Do you think there's like a bar at these venues? Like, are people getting drunk to go listen to the Wiggles live? Around kids too, which is so sad.
Just don't get drunk at a Wiggles show. Kid Leroy brought out the Wiggles during one of his shows.
Okay, that would be a really good title for this. Don't get drunk at a Wiggles show.
I will change the title. Kid Leroy, I have a real guilty pleasure. There's 2 Kid Leroy songs I really like. Of course, the one with Justin Bieber that everyone knows, and then he's got a song called Diva. And I really like that song, Diva. He features a rapper in it. That rapper, it's like the worst rap of all time. But Kid Leroy's parts, I really like. But I don't know about him bringing out the Wiggles. That's kind of I don't know. Kid Leroy is probably also like 19. Oh, I gotta say that I'm old. So also I agree. Going to the Wiggles, insanity. It could be throwing out perks to the crowd, and it would still be the gayest thing. Honestly, if they're throwing out free perks, I'm going anywhere. So that's where I have to say that I'll give in. They could be throwing out free perks at the Pride Parade, and I'm going to the Pride Parade if they're throwing out free perks there.
Monday's Inauguration Day.
Yeah.
And it's on MLK Day.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh man.
They're bringing in Donald Trump on MLK Day. I'm surprised. I've not seen anybody mention that yet.
Because I saw that the post office is closed on Monday, so then I looked to see if that was the holiday.
The thing about Martin Luther King Jr. that not enough people talk about is he was a great ladies' man.
I'm sure.
He was, apparently he was a real, what's the word, philanderer. He's always cheating on his wife. The women loved him. MLK is Don. Oh yeah, I'm sure the Moore has some ideas about MLK. Who is Don King? I know the name though. Dirty White Boy, fuck MLK, a Trump baby. Which is funny because Dirty White Boy doesn't like any of these motherfuckers. Now he's just trying to stir the pot up in chat. Don King, I thought that was like a comedian. Oh no, it's an American promoter. Now that I'm looking at Don King's face.
Okay, so in the news today, they were saying that. So I had a feeling when the fire started that what's going to happen is they were going to have a bunch of events go on over the coming months to kind of like help fund relief efforts. And what do you know? Today, Insomniac is now going to throw like a bunch of free raves. And then all of the money that, that they get will be donated towards relief efforts. But free raves in LA, I'm not down.
You should go. Just see if they're handing out free perks.
Not my vibe anymore. Maybe if it was like 10 years ago.
I definitely believe there was some fishy stuff going on with MLK. I mean, especially considering the way he died or died, whatever you want to call it. Free raves. LA has the weirdest way of like, hey, we know you just lost your home. Come get fucked up at a rave.
Yeah.
Hey, we know you're homeless and you're a fentanyl addict. Here's some free needles. Like, what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, LA is like the cool uncle with the mullet who thinks he's helping, but he's really just like.
I mean, that was like a big curveball because I was kind of like, okay, they're probably going to do kind of like a Live Aid 2.0, get some of the biggest artists, but no, they were like, we're gonna go with the raves. That's what the kids want.
You know, it's adults that planned it because raves, that's like a 2012 thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Insomniac, that guy, you know.
Brilliant advertising. Raves used to be free. I was gonna say, I remember the good raves were free back, and you just went. It was.
Yeah.
I talked about how, especially where I'm from, small town, the biggest raves was like in a fucking shack in the back roads.
Yeah.
Of course, it was free. Maybe there'd be like a guy at the door. It was like a couple of bucks or something. I never went to a rave, just to make that
I
clear.
used to
But
go to like so many raves when I was like in my late teens.
it seems
early
so
20s.
overwhelming.
Yeah, I could never. You have to be young to do. I don't understand. Like, I have one friend, one of my closest girlfriends, she still raves. She loves it. And I'm like, okay, all power to you. She has the energy to go out and do that. I'm like, I need to be in bed by 9. Like, I could not.
Yeah, it's
But,
hard now.
you know, there's so many. There's one friend actually that I have. She's like a year or 2 younger than us, and she loves to go to raves. The weird part is that she brings her dad. Her dad also loves to rave, so the two of them go all the time together.
How old is she?
Like 29.
Is she hot?
Yeah, she's really pretty.
You should send me her Instagram, because if she's going to raves with her dad, that means daddy issues, and that means girl that I want to talk to.
You'd actually probably, she's very small and petite and blonde, and she's like super into video games and anime. She's one of those girls that she looks like the Instagram influencers. But
Before I get to this Burning Man comment, I forgot to mention to you that girl that you told me about, that you sent me the Instagram last time we were on stream.
Kira.
She follows the disco page.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, this is that girl.
Yeah.
Burning Man. what do you have to say about Burning Man? I think Burning Man is funny how nowadays it's like tech millionaires that go to burn. Like, it used to be a hippie type shit. Drunk in Japan throwing shade back up at dirty white boy. So fuck MLK coming from a guy who's never voted. But yeah, you have a hot friend that goes to raves with her dad. So give me her at? I need her Instagram handle.
She might have a man, of course. Because
what does that matter?
Pretty.
Her man is probably her dad. That means I want in. I want a piece.
Oh God. She's also from I think she's Russian. She's one of those, yeah.
Are you trying to convince me?
Yeah, no, she's very, very pretty. Let me see if I can
tell her I'm down with Vladimir Putin. Be like, hey, I got a buddy. We stream.
Oh, no, her profile pic is of her and her man, but
is her man Vladimir Putin? Because I don't give a fuck about that guy.
Let's see.
Dude, she's got to be hot.
I'm gonna send you her page right now.
Any girl going to raves with her dad, dude,
she does everything with her dad. She's like, I can't believe a 60-something-year-old man wants to do that, but okay.
He likes looking at 20-year-old broads.
They're European, so I don't know if
her account's private. All I can see is her profile picture, and her face isn't in it because she's smooching with her dad in the picture.
Okay, I'll send you some screenshots.
Seriously, her profile picture is terrible. I honestly, not even being able to see her face, just seeing her blonde hair, she looks hot as fuck though.
She's very pretty. So it's actually a funny story. This chick, we became friends in high school because we both dated the same guy. And hold on, let me send you her pictures.
Fuck her, man. He's probably trying to take her to see the Wiggles or something. Big Putin guy, about to get down harder than the Fourth Reich.
There, I just sent you some pics.
Dirty white boy seen a video like that. Pornhub sucks. Pornhub is one of the worst. It's just like almost like all the videos are short, like previews. Wait, that's German, not Russian. When she got a man, it makes it 1-on-1. If she's single, it's 1 versus 100, bruh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is a girl I could have pulled back in my prime, but nowadays, honestly, I like wouldn't even bother hitting. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so so I met her in high school. She like I dated someone briefly, and then he turned out to be incredibly abusive. So then um after that breakup happened, he started dating her, and I, because she's younger than me, I messaged her and I was like, hey, just to let you know, he does X, Y, and Z. He's done this apparently to all of his girlfriends. And then the same situation did end up happening to her. So then we both bonded over the abuse that we shared when we were like 16. And then we've been friends for the past 15 years. And then funny enough is before her current man, she was dating a guy for like 5-6 years, and he was like this, because she's super into, as I said, like playing video games and anime and whatnot. So she found a gamer dude, but he was like this like super obese Mexican guy. And everybody was confused because she's like a bombshell. And we were like, what are you doing with this guy? But she just like loved him. And then they ended up breaking up. And then, anyways, I think it was like early last year, she told me that the ex-boyfriend, the fat guy, he somehow like he like crawled up to her second story, um, and he like tried breaking into her house to steal like her consoles and stuff. And then what ended up happening is just like she came home as he was breaking in. And so she like opened up her room, and he was in there like trying to take her stuff. So he proceeds to jump out her bedroom window on the second story. And he's like really fucking big. He rolls through, and then he falls like over the roof, and he ends up breaking his arms. And she had to call the paramedics
That's awesome.
because he was breaking into her house.
That's awesome. Hold on really quick before I comment on this. Why not says, who the hell is Beckett? Yeah, I did. First of all, I did used to use the Disco Rob name here. Disco Rob is terrible. Dude, Beckett, honestly, this comes from Dirty White Boys. I think just him. I went over to his place on Christmas Eve, and it was him and Drunk in Japan who were both over there. And they both call me Beckett. No one really calls me Beckett anymore. It's a very small handful, but just them calling me Beckett, I think so many times, like unlocked. I don't want to say unlocked, but I'm like, dude, why the fuck am I not just doing Beckett? Like Beckett is, I already have the fucking name to go by on here. Yeah, I hope we get canceled for fat phobia. That is 100% one of the goals. I on my resume, I want fat phobia. I want homophobia. I want racist. I want all of these. The only thing I don't want is some shit to do with children. Everything else, I will gladly welcome. When you say a gamer dude, and then you're like, oh yeah, he was a fat Mexican guy. Well, you pretty much said that when you said gamer dude. You didn't need to go any further than gamer dude.
I don't know. So
wait, so she calls the paramedics for him, and then that's it? So
I asked her if she was going to press charges, and she said that she wanted to, but I never heard back about that. I think she might have just like let it go because she did feel bad that he broke his arms trying to break in.
Imagine breaking into your oh wait, hold on. This is definitely a stranger saying some weird shit. I'll give you $500K a week if you hump your brother or sister on camera. Well, there's I'm trying to think. There's only
Wait, they must know that you have siblings.
No, I think they're just talking shit. I don't think this is a real person. Look at that name. I do have siblings. For $500K a week, I could honestly, both of my brothers might be like, if first of all, you got to define hump, because if we're just talking like joking, like when you're like drunk with your boys and one of you like, does a fucking a couple thrusts from the back when you walk by your boy at the table and you give him a fucking thrust or two. Like, okay, that is all. But if you're talking about, some other shit, then that's going to get way too out of control. I want to see Beck at 3-way 2 fatties. I'm afraid of fat girls. I suffered a spontaneous pneumothorax in my freshman year of high school. My lung collapsed from being too skinny. That was the only explanation my doctor could give me. And apparently when you have a spontaneous pneumothorax, which is just a pneumothorax, but the spontaneity of it is that it just happens for no reason. Usually you get a lung collapse and like car accidents and shit. Apparently the likelihood of it happening again in your life is 50%. And then if you smoke cigarettes, it goes up to 80%. That's what they told me. I think they were probably just trying to scare me out of smoking because I've been smoking ever since then and I've been fine. But I am very afraid of getting down with a fat broad and then my lung collapses because she wants to catch a ride. So
Wait, so what's like your weight limit? Like, what's the max?
dude, my standards are honestly ridiculous. I when it comes to, I'll be like with buddies and I'll be like, oh, that girl over there is fat. And they'll look and they're like, dude, that is a totally normal, healthy girl. That is not a fat girl. It just depends on the girl. I've definitely, I made out with a fat girl one time. I was like 17 and I was like 17 or 18 and she was like 21 or 22 and she bought me beer. So I was like, well, fuck it. I got to put her out of her misery. So, there are like some thicker girls that I've been like attracted to, but it's, anything that most people consider thick, I consider fat. I'm skinny. Like I got a date within my range.
Yeah.
I weigh less than 150, so I'm looking for a girl that's around, obviously you got to give them a few because they're going to have some parts on them that are, tits are like 90% fat. So of course it's going to, why not? Says I can be your brother. Let's split the money. Yeah, I'm down. We can split $500K a week. My boy got I can't even read that. Holocausteric. Why not? Says my range is 88 pounds wet.
So that's a child. Okay,
I would like
a child.
That's not even true. There's an OnlyFans girl that I'm really into that's like 4'10", and when she was going through like an Ozempic phase, she said she was down to like 80 pounds, and it's just like this is like the one girl. It's the girl I was just telling you about that looks like Avril Lavigne that I secretly simp over. I don't give girls money. I don't do OnlyFans. My version of secretly simping is I follow them on Instagram and I like posts. That's what I consider simping. But yeah, I like her posts from the disco page. I always hope that maybe if I become a big enough fan of like an Instagram girl from the disco page, she'll agree to do an interview. I would like to interview this girl because she also has a music career. Her music I actually really like. They're trying to take 15 milligrams out of cigarettes.
Comments are fucking hilarious.
Which would put them down to less than 1 milligram. So they're trying to ruin cigarettes, but again, we can smoke weed. Like you can buy weed from every corner. What do you mean, like 15 milligrams of the tobacco, like the stuff in there? Yeah, it depends on how she carries the weight. Is she carrying the weight in the thighs? I'm a leg guy. I like legs. To me, legs are a very important part. Let's see. Why do you sound so racist? You're going to have LGBTQRUVSMA in here. I hope so. I wish I could get like an LGBTQ activist in the chat someday. Oh, that'd be like my dream come true. I would also like to get one of those fat liberation broads in here. Like those girls that want to liberate fat people. They think fat people are like a marginal. Oh my God.
Wait, did I tell you about how I was telling somebody, I saw this video on Instagram and it was like, it was run by like a very large woman. And she was saying that like they identify themselves as like the fats, like they call themselves like, oh, that's a fat.
Yeah.
Like that.
I would say horrible things to those girls. If I got in a conversation with one of those girls with the rainbow glasses that talks about how it's fat phobic to ask for a smaller piece of cake at the office party, I would make her jump out of a fucking 3-story window. I know where to put the fucking knife too. Oh my God, I wish I could get some fat bitch up in this chat talking about marginalized class and oh, we deserve a second free airplane.
You know who you should get on is who is that the trans person? They
All right, now we're getting into murky waters here.
It's like that really big, with the long black hair.
Oh yeah, like Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah,
Dirty White Boy's a big fan of Optimus Prime. What is it? It's like Optimus Prime or Gorlock the Destroyer.
that's who you should get on
That's
the
a that's a
show.
that's a dude, right? You guys all know who I'm talking about. First of all, that person is like actually famous. I would not be able to even get a dude. When you start to type in Gorlock into Google, the Destroyer comes up.
That's terrible. I don't know. I feel like they might say yes for the clout.
I have no
Oh,
clout to offer.
God.
This person is
I know,
genuinely
but-
famous. Like, look, this
Oh,
person
God.
actually has a following. I mean, people
It's
laugh.
so embarrassing. It's so degrading, and I can't believe that's where we're at in society.
Yeah, Dirty White Boy is a big fan of Gorlock. He
God.
was on stream the other day, and he was talking about how he subscribes to
I love
Gorlock's
that.
OnlyFans.
More like Marjorie.
To what?
Did you see his comment?
Marginalized, more like Marjorie.
Yeah.
Up here, any thoughts on
So,
Lizzo
wait,
getting
what is
canceled?
it?
I'm glad Lizzo's fat phobic. Lizzo, what did Lizzo do? She just lost weight, or she like told her dancers to lose some weight? Something like completely reasonable. First of all, honestly, Lizzo's a garbage person because Lizzo is one of those people that profits off of, Lizzo encourages people to make bad decisions, and dude, the fat thing, like it's all fun, it's funny. I like to make, but realistically, that is the worst thing you can do health wise. Like you're killing yourself. Which I'm not going to be the guy to say don't kill yourself. Fucking.
I've seen this comment before. Can't put down the fork. Wait, where's that from? We were
I
listening.
can't put down the cup.
Yeah,
I can't put. That's my boy Dave Blunt's. I wish I could get. I messaged Dave Blunt's girlfriend or whatever she is, Isabella, on Instagram.
Yeah.
She never even opened it. I was pissed. Yeah, I love Dave Blunt's. I wish I could get his girl. I wish she would take off those fake eyelashes. That's what I want to tell her. I would like to interview her on here and tell her, get those fucking eyelashes off your eyes. She's hot as fuck, but get those eyelashes off. They look like shit. And then I want her to spill the beans. You're not actually fucking Dave Blunt's. She's just, she's in it for the clout, which, no shame in the game. If I was a girl, I'd be the biggest clout chaser of all time.
So
what's next?
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to share how you really feel about the Jews? My favorite Jewish thing is, that classic, the Kanye clip. I'm not going to say what kind of doctor it was. It was a Jewish doctor. It's a classic. Man, the Jewish stuff is so funny. How much would it take to sleep with Gorlock? To bang out Gorlock the Destroyer? I on a cheap day, 500K. I'd like to just say a clean, even million, but also sleep with is such a general term. Like, am I unleashing my beast, or am I just, doing the bare minimum? Am I, that's, you got to specify, because depending on what I decide to do or what that Gorlock wants to do to me, that might change the price a little bit.
Remember that guy a couple of months ago that we were supposed to interview and he never showed?
I think he died.
What happened to him?
He still never opened my message.
Is he still active on social media? Or
No, but he never really posted anything to begin with.
that's
For the chat, this random guy came across the channel one day on a stream on YouTube. Derek Yaholnitsky, and he claimed that he was a paranormal investigator. I was like, oh, that sounds awesome, actually. I would love to talk to you. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Here's my Instagram. This was 15 weeks ago, this was October 1st of last year. And yeah, he's never posted once on his Instagram, so you can't really tell there. I messaged him. We just never heard back from him. He's just, yeah, he's a ghost now. He dedicated to becoming a paranormal.
he became one. Whatever
Becky would fucking do for 500K. It depends on what day you catch me on. 500K, dude, that's life-changing money. 60 minutes. Okay, full activity means I'm unleashing my beast. We're getting into the millions. Like, if we're talking, like, I have to treat Gorlock like she's a girl that I've been dating for, like, 6 months, we're getting into the millions.
Whatever happened to Jordan?
I just haven't talked to him in a long time. Again, for chat,
Really?
Jordan is one of the original people that followed the Disco Acid Cult page back when it was a Charles Manson. I need to quit trying to sugarcoat it. It was basically a fucking Charles Manson fan page. All right, let's just call it what it is. It was a Charlie Manson fan page. I always have to, it was kind of like a true crime. We talked a lot of it. It was a Charlie Manson fan page. All right, the guy's a badass. The guy's a gangster. He deserves some fan pages every once in a while. So Jordan is like this 21-year-old kid from like fucking Mississippi or Alabama, like real Southern
Yeah.
accent.
Like Mississippi.
So he was kind of like our young guy, we talked to him. He came on a couple times, but he'd always stream from his phone, which I've now made the rule, no phone people, unless you're like a famous person that like, that will attract views, no phone people, because phones sound awful. Or if you're like a friend of mine that I really want on. And then two, he would basically hold the phone up, like kind of like to his face on the ceiling, and he would just pace around the room. So he's just his whole square on the screen just looked chaotic and
It's so funny.
just went crazy. Yeah, Manson's music is way too good. I'm really mad about I'll die angry about the fact that there's a lot of really good Manson music that he recorded, back in the 60s. It's been locked away because they won't release it. He recorded at least an album's worth of music with the Beach Boys. At one point, the Beach Boys were, they wanted Manson to, because by 1969, the Beach Boys were old and square. Manson was supposed to come in and help revitalize their career. So there's a whole album, at least, locked away in the Beach Boys vault of basically a Manson Beach Boys like super group, Manson singing, playing guitar, Beach Boys. We'll never get it. We'll never hear it. We'll never fucking get it because everybody's stuck to their whole story about the cult and the hippies. Favorite death cult? I don't really know that much about cults. Manson family is not a cult. I'll put that one out there. That's like my big thing. I still have yet to make a video on the Manson story, but there is no cult. They were just a group of kids hanging out on a commune. They were fucking weird. They were eccentric, but in 1969, everybody was eccentric and living on communes. Really, these three groups that you mentioned are the only ones I really even know too much about. Jonestown is interesting. I would like to look into the real story of Jonestown because I think there's some CIA involvement there. I think shit gets weird. Heaven's Gate is cool, but the body count is honestly not high enough for me to. Let's be real. You want a body count when you're looking into these stories. Waco is hard because Waco is, David Koresh, I don't think was as bad a guy I don't think he was a perfect guy or a great guy by any means, but I don't think he was as bad a guy as they make him out to be. I think the FBI fucked up pretty bad on that whole thing. Gorlock the Destroyer should start an internet cult. I would join.
Really?
Yeah, so like I was telling you earlier, there's this OnlyFans girl named Avery.
Yeah.
Name's literally just Avery. I think on Instagram it's Avery Official. Like I said, when I follow OnlyFans girls, I call them Instagram girls because I only know them from Instagram. I appreciate Instagram because you can't post full nudity. Now in my older age, I appreciate pictures of girls that are like scantily clad, like they have some clothes on, I don't like seeing just full nude girls on the end. That's not fun anymore. Like, give me something kind of artsy. Give me something tasteful. Give me a good set. I'm down for that. I'm good for a good set. Matching underwear and shit. Avery has a music career. She's awesome. She's got this track called Let's Stop Lying. It's 4 years old. It's an old track, but it's really good. She just put out a new track today, actually, for the first time in years. She seemed like she stopped doing music to do the OnlyFans thing for a while, but it seems like she's gonna get back into doing music. That would be really cool. At some point, I don't, probably not tonight, but at some point I should play this video on the channel. I want to start going in pretty hard on her music out of hopes that, like, again, I'm still looking for my fucking OnlyFans girl interview on this channel. And this girl is more reasonable. Like, I'd be able to get her before I could get Callie Roses. This girl has like 200,000 something followers on Instagram. I could get her before I could get Callie Roses. So I'm gonna switch focus over to Avery, and that is the 249K.
Who is this?
The more.
Yeah, who is that?
I met him just on the stream on Tuesday, solo stream. I might have him on. I'm gonna email him. He's pretty into. Is alternative history or alternative facts a term that you would? I've heard that term used before. We'd be talking about crazy stuff. Like he was telling me that JFK is Jimmy Carter. They're the same person. That type of stuff. Obviously, you see him talking about death cults up here. People call it conspiracy theory type shit. But I don't know. Is conspiracy theory like a bad word to people that believe in conspiracy theories? Truther. Okay, yeah, I've heard that term a lot too. Annie, what do you do? Annie survives LA fires. That is one thing.
I do a lot. So I used to be an archaeologist, and then I stopped. What?
Theo Vaughn is on my TV right now, though. Just to put that, I swear
Really?
to God, Theo Vaughn's on my fucking TV right now. I'm not even kidding.
Not pure moods.
There's a conspiracy. Okay, anyways.
That's funny.
I call Annie the witchy LA person. That like when I talk to my mom, I say, "Oh, my witchy LA friend." I was talking to her, and
I do a lot of stuff. I used to be an archaeologist, and then I stopped doing that once COVID happened, and then now I own a business and I sell vintage clothing, and I am also a writer and a lover of all things witchcraft and magic, so, and mediumship. So that is what I do and more. What is this? Grew up in Torrance and Hermosa. Okay, cool. That is very south. It's south of me. But
the
I do
more,
love Toronto.
the more. What do you think about magic and witchcraft in general? I have some like magic spell books. I still would like to one day clean up my room and maybe try to summon a demon. I've still got this Aleister Crowley book.
You know who's like
Lesser
totally
of
doing that
Solomon.
now? Is Tim. Tim's like fully gone to the dark side and like summoning all the 9 demons from hell, and I don't know. It's crazy. I'm convinced he's a shapeshifter.
Apparently demons will help you out. I'm on a subreddit. People talk about demons. They come along, they help, they spread wisdom and knowledge. They talk to you, they give you advice, they tell you, shit like that.
Yeah, but they can also like trick you. I mean, I don't know. It really depends on which one you speak with.
The more, speaking of doing stuff like this, the more I was looking more into, this is something I'm going to start trying to do. I was looking more into 369, Nikola Tesla's 369. And apparently one of the things he said was to achieve things, you set realistic goals, visualize them for 17 seconds, write them down 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night for 21 days. So I'm going to do that with 10K.
Okay. I will say yes to that, because anytime I've had to do like an energy clearing spell, you do it every day for 21 days. The 21 is very specific. Tim, okay, so Tim has that girlfriend. I was telling you about that. He has a new girlfriend, and then we were wondering how old she is. But she says in her bio that she is in college, so she could be anywhere from 18 to, I don't know. It's Europe. She could be younger. So
the more, I've always thought maybe more so, because I'm not big into science, but maybe even more so than science shows that this place is supernatural and magic. I think there's a lot of things that science can't answer for, that the only answer would be supernatural and magic. I've always believed in, like today I live in a place I'm 99% certain has at least one ghost in it. Every time I'm cooking food downstairs and it gets late at night. Just the other week, 2 weeks ago, when I was doing my meal prep, it was like 10:30 at night. I'm in the kitchen and there's fucking there's 2 like knocks on the window. I don't know if I want to describe them as bangs or knocks. Yeah, no, there's definitely something downstairs in my house. I've always been into supernatural, more so than magic. Magic and demons is like a new thing for me. And I'm not gonna say I'm into that stuff, but I've been curious about it. But yeah, the only thing that stops me from trying to summon a demon, I can't remember. There was like two that I was specifically interested in that had to do with they would like help with either if there was like one that was love life, and then the one that just talked, was knows about like general success and wealth. But it's always the messy room. My room's messy, and they say that demons won't come to a messy room because they'll take that as a sign of disrespect. I also don't have the stuff. You have to build kind of an altar. I don't really have I don't
I
really
mean,
have like
you don't have to make anything crazy. It's like whatever is precious to you, you know. But I know you. You're gonna want to go all out. So
yeah, I'd want to go all in. I don't know why I have actually, you know what? Before I pull this up, I just want to make sure there's nothing. Whenever I do like a screen share, I'm always like, is there going to be anything weird that pops up on my screen? This is that Instagram girl that I have been hyping up now.
she looks like a female Jeffree Star.
This is the girl that said she went down to like 80 pounds. She's only 4'10", which is crazy. But then, yeah, she sings. I think I'm gonna get some audio on this, and I really like this chorus.
You don't know who I am.
It's very early 2000s. That seems to be her thing. But yeah, that's. I'm now replacing the Callie Rose's goal with this girl's goal.
Girl.
Yeah, I would like to land an interview with this girl and talk to her about music because she has really good taste in music. She's done a cover of that song by Matchbox 20. She just turned 30, so obviously she's in my age group. She's into the same type of stuff. The Moore wants to know if you have an OnlyFans.
No.
I'm kidding. I think he's
No.
asking about like magic stuff.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. What do you mean by services? Because that could go many different ways.
That's why.
Really terrible. That's wild.
It is funny that Tim did lock in and summon a bitch though.
Yeah, but like the circumstances were weird. I told you how he was like he said his roommate cursed him and he had nowhere to go, and then she pops up and now they're like, I think they live together. So it's like, was that circumstantial? I'm not a consultant for what? I'm not a consultant.
I thought you said you're like a medium. Don't you read?
Oh, I mean, I said yes, like I practice that, but I mean, I guess I could. I could try.
I need to I'm gonna start I'm thinking about trying to cast some love spells.
You could do that.
I am trying to lock in and summon some bitches is what I'm trying to do. I'm always confused about like, it has to be like within reason, right? Like I can't just cast a love spell on Taylor Swift.
No, yeah, it definitely has to be within reason, 100%. Because
to me,
that
it
would just
sounds
like
law of attraction.
backfire. Because that would like backfire because then you would have this like obsession with Taylor Swift, and then
I mean, I already do.
yeah, but probably like if you did a spell like that, I could see it backfiring to where you become this like evil person that will do anything you can to like get your way to meet her.
Sounds perfect.
So I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. If he's just with her for her house. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he posts like so many pictures with her now, and they both are like goth, so they do all the
They're very cringe pictures.
Yeah, they like in the cemetery making out.
Well, he's the kind of guy, and no shame to him for this because I'm the same kind of person, but he's the kind of guy that the second he gets with a girl, that's becomes his entire
100%.
And that's how I've always been.
But like what I thought was weird is he like casually mentioned to me a couple of months ago that he was married, and that like he married a girl that was from Russia because she needed a green card, and so he was trying to like deal with a divorce. I don't know. It's like the way he said it just sounded kind of weird. Like, why have you never told me that before? And are you just saying that? You're also like 23,
Yeah,
24. So
I think he lies. I don't think he, I don't take him as an always truthful guy just from
it's like,
what you've told me.
I just think that's like crazy that, yeah, we got all those messages when we had him on and they were like, don't have him on again. Like all those anonymous people. That was wild.
It was just one person, but it was
Oh, I guess like I got them. Like you shouldn't be talking to this guy.
yeah. Yeah, which is enough to,
Yeah.
when it's more than one person, it's like, okay. And my whole thing is I don't know. It was enough that I was like, ah, fuck it, let's just not have the guy on anymore.
Yeah.
Pull the episodes down.
100%. We don't need people claiming things. So.
He wasn't, he was a phone guest. He
was a phone guest.
when he pulled the goofy shit with the candles, and I'm like, you have your phone sitting across the fucking room to do that's when I was like, okay, I don't need this guy on here anyways. No more phone people. No more people coming on their phones.
It's wild because he was like, no, I have a full computer setup and that's what I'm going to be using. So,
yeah.
Okay, for sure.
And again, I say no phones, but I'll obviously use discretion if there's people that are going to be on their phone that I actually want.
I do not have an OnlyFans. I am not one of those kinds of women at all. I am very introverted. So.
Selling feet, you should get into selling feet pictures though, just because it's your feet. No one would ever see your face. No one would ever see you. Dude, make an anonymous account or make, just sell feet pictures, dude. Dude, if I was a girl, I'd be a fucking millionaire.
Yeah, but like you could sell your feet pictures.
My feet are gross.
Yeah, but you could go get like a pedicure.
Nobody wants to get my feet a pedicure.
Well, I mean, you never know. There's a market for everything out there.
I've got manly feet. I sweat at work for 12 hours.
Yeah,
I wear
but
black socks.
You could claim that you were like just a giant woman, and then somebody's going to be into that and say, I want
my toes, the second toe after your biggest toe, the longest one.
Yeah.
My longest toe is as long as like some small girls' pinkies, like their fingers, because my toes I have long toes because I have long everything. I have long fingers. I'm tall.
It's long everything.
I know. But I do. Everything that I've got is, because everything's just like stretched out. That's how all the dudes in my family are. Everything is just, it seems like God took silly putty to make all of us and kind of pulled it up a little bit. And
yeah. What is that? Was there like a family? Where is it from? There was some maybe it was Futurama or Family Guy where somebody was being like stretched out and then they had to like go put them out on the lawn and they were like.
Somebody was being stretched out.
You were like, what are those, those little like blow up guys that kind of like wave in the wind?
Oh, well, wacky inflatable tube men or whatever.
Is that from Family Guy?
Yeah, when he does the wacky inflatable tube man.
Yeah.
Like over and over again.
There was something I watched where I swear it was that like from Family Guy where somebody was being like stretched out on like a machine and then they were like, let's just go put him out front so he can,
that's not Family Guy. But what I'm thinking about when you say Family Guy is this.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Hi, I'm Al Harrington, president and CEO of Al Harrington's Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man emporium and warehouse. Thanks to a shipping error, I am now currently overstocked on wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men, and I am passing the savings on to you. Attract customers to your business.
That's so funny because that guy right there looks just like it looks like they drew Seth MacFarlane. And that's
Buying church or Joe.
Oh yeah. They probably, they seem like one of those shows that likes to 100%. Joke around a lot like that. Family Guy, man, I love Family Guy. Everyone talks shit about newer Family Guy. Keep in mind, I haven't watched Family Guy in years, but I remember one time when Calamity Jane and I were trying to kick the heroin habit. One of our first successful tries that lasted like a couple months. Before you take a Suboxone, you have to wait 24 hours. In Family Guy, we literally watched Family Guy for 24 hours because super cheesy, the best cure for any kind of ailment or pain, especially heroin withdrawal, is laughter. But it's hard to laugh when you're withdrawing from heroin. But we watched Family Guy for 24 hours straight and just like laughed. It was like one of those not strange, but like very like soft moments between us that Family Guy got us through the 24 hours. But yeah, a lot of people hate New Family Guy, but you'll like this one. It's the shooters of Columbine are the creators of South Park. Fake killing kids, funny since Kenny. So what are their names? Like Trey Parker or something. The guys that made. So the Columbine kids are the South Park creators, is what you're saying. This is the kind of stuff that I would have him on to talk about.
Okay.
It would be fun because
Interesting.
I told him I think we'll have respectful disagreements. Like he thinks Paul McCartney died and was replaced, which I don't believe. And he seems like a guy that like the more I see you as a guy that would be fun to, we could go back and forth on some things that would be fun to talk about. And I don't see you as being a guy that would get butthurt if I say like, oh no, I don't buy into that. And then also everyone knows how I am. Even if I don't believe some shit at all, I'm totally down to hear it. And you know what I mean? Like I don't I think I talked about it last time. I don't think he was killed, just replaced. Okay, so you don't think Paul McCartney died? Because most people think that he died. They think he died in the car accident. I think what happened was he was, the story is that he was leaving a party and he got into a car with Mick Jagger, I think it was, and Paul had his assistant drive his car home. And on the drive home, his assistant crashed. And so kind of a crowd of people saw Paul's car in a wreck and they all thought that he died. And that was the word that kind of went around. But yeah, I like hearing about new stuff. But the Columbine one, that sounds interesting. It is funny. Every time you mention those, the people like I can kind of picture, they do look kind of similar. I would imagine that's how a lot of those kind of theories get started, though. It's just that they look similar. Like, yeah, when you look at pictures of the South Park creators, I can totally see the Columbine kids growing up to look like these two guys.
What the fuck? What is this?
What are you looking at?
Oh, you know the app Citizen?
I do not.
Okay, so it's like nationwide. There's this app, it's called Citizen, and anytime there's a crime around you, like it notifies you. And so I just got a notification right now. And like some of them are just like straight up weird. Like the other day I got one and it was like two ducks fighting in a pond and somebody was like filming a video of like these ducks like going at it. It's crazy. Anyways, I just got one now. It just says 2 people attempted to enter evacuation area with fake media passes. Like someone was pretending to be the press. And then they have like they always have like the 911 like phone recording attached to it as well. That's crazy. Yeah, no, they're really going after all these people that are trying to like loot. It's fucking nuts. They don't stop. They said that they've already arrested like, I don't know if it was like almost 100 people so far or something like that.
I still think they'll let him out pretty soon.
It's just disgusting.
It's one of those like I'll believe it when I see it.
What is this? The real Paul?
Because I'm pretty sure if I click on this, it's just going to put the link. Like, I can't click on the link from where I'm at right now. I guess if anybody else is interested. My TV just went off. I wonder why. Switching over to another Theo Von video or something.
What is this?
What are your thoughts about the fire hydrants? Anna, you're the LA person.
What are your thoughts? Oh, that's just a whole. There's so many theories. At this point, I just think it's all the theories at once. It's like, who fucking knows? Okay, that's fucking great. So somebody just posted right now that the insurance companies, because of the fires, are now going in and just created a list of zip codes that they will once again remove insurance for. And of course, our zip code is on the fucking list. That's annoying as hell.
I think that goes along with the fire hydrant. All right, I'll get a little bit into it. I think there's one, Gavin Newsom talked about envisioning an LA 2.0, literally sounds like they're trying to burn out land so they can build a new city, which sounds bizarre. And then two, I always lean toward population control. The more you'll think this one's funny. This is kind of I'm like halfway joking about it, but at the same time, I'm not. My big theory is that I think airbags in cars are population control. I think in the year 2025, there's no way that we don't have technology to build a safer way to help protect you in a car crash than a fucking bag that flies out and breaks your face.
Yeah.
Some people get into car accidents and they're not that bad, and the airbag will break their face and kill them. Like, airbags are incredibly dangerous, and there's like a pillow would be safer. Like, put a pillow in there. Why is it this? Have you ever felt an airbag? It's like a hard fucking.
Yeah.
There's no way that we can't get a safer option than airbags. I think they're population control. I think they're meant to take some people out. And then you talk about fire hydrants being emptied. I mean, the whole thing is weird. They lower the fire budget, which that right away makes me think it's weird. If you're in charge of the budget for Los Angeles, what is the first thing you know about LA? It burns down at least once a year. That's just how it is. It's a fact of life. Even like the ancient Native Americans that lived there knew this. Like this LA burns down. It just does. So why are you taking any money out of the fire budget? Why are you messing with that? You should be taking money out of the transgender cafes and the gay men's choirs to put into the fire budget because, and that's not even hating on the transgender cafes, what good is a transgender cafe if it's going to burn down next month? Who cares? So that enough is weird to me. And then you talk about all these insurance places pulling out. Why are they all pulling out? Why are they all like weirdly pulling out before this fire starts? That's weird timing to me. Like, what do they know?
This is so annoying. Yeah.
But is that saying it's guaranteed your insurance is going to get pulled, or it could get pulled?
They're saying that they will.
It sounds like you're fine anyways right now, though. You said the fire's pretty much out around you.
Yeah, but it's just saying that, like, okay, due to the governor's January 7th, 2025 declarations, no admitted or non-admitted insurer shall issue a note. Okay. So what they're saying is actually, so they have basically a list of every single zip code in the Los Angeles area. And they're saying that for 1 year, everybody is covered, but then next year, like, everyone's screwed and they will no longer be covered.
Yeah, insurance is so fucking crazy. The more we talked about it, there's got to be something, I think, which is the entire insurance industry. Just the idea of, I'm a loyal customer. I give you money every month. And then when I finally need you, you deny my claim. Oh, no, sorry, we can't help you. Like, so what are you doing? Then give me all my money back. Give me my years of money back.
Yeah.
Like, if insurance pulls out, then give me all my money back. Like, the whole point of me giving you the money is so that you can use it when when something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Give me at least some of my, if you're going to pull out of the deal, if you're going to back out, I want my money back. Like, refund me like half of it. It's all weird. And then same stuff with like unemployment. You pay into unemployment every paycheck, and then you finally go to use it because you get laid off or some crazy shit happens, and it's a huge hassle. It's and California is the worst about it too. Dude, I just got a used car, right? Bought a used car from somebody, and I have to go to the DMV to pay taxes. The DMV had nothing to do with me purchasing this car from somebody. Like, why am I paying the DMV? Because that'd be like if I bought a bag of fentanyl off of you and then I had to go into the doctor's office and give them $20. Like, what the fuck did they do? This fucking crackhead in a trailer made this fentanyl. I'm going to purchase it from him. I don't want the doctors or big pharma or the government. Why am I paying? What am I paying them for? I loved how when you file taxes on like the .gov website, they straight up said like, oh, if you sold drugs or like bought drugs, make sure to put that into your tax filings. Yeah, it was like a big trend. It was something about they tried to like, oh yeah, if your profit is from drug dealing, make sure you report that on your tax when you file your taxes.
Well,
What
they
the
also tell you to report your casino winnings too.
Yeah,
But
like, what are
who's
we
doing
talking
that?
about?
It's like so nuts. Who's doing that? I think you do
Well,
have to report your casino winnings if it's like quite substantial, because then it'll be obvious.
but even then, it's ridiculous. Like, dude, this is a transaction between me and the casino. Like, get your
Yeah.
get your nose out of it.
Yeah.
I won, I won $10,000 in Vegas. The casino paid me well. Federal income tax is classified as a donation. That Zeitgeist documentary, I think it's Zeitgeist. It might have been Zeitgeist Part 2, but there's like people that worked for the IRS, and they were talking about how there's no actual law on the books that says you have to file your taxes every year. And these people that used to work at the IRS are like, yeah, the last time I filed my tax return was in 2001. And I've just
Okay,
gone
so
on.
I have heard that, and one of my cousins, he hasn't filed his taxes in like 10 years, but they have been going after him and he just hasn't been responding. But as of like this past year, he decided to like get his life in order and now he has to pay them back. But like they will work with you. So if you say like, oh, I just can't pay like that large, sum of money right away, like you can pay him like $50 a month as long as you're paying. But yeah, I mean, he just didn't do anything. He didn't file his
Yeah.
taxes.
As far as getting away with it for like 10 years, I think what happens is it kind of just luck of the draw. Sometimes they'll catch it and come after you. Sometimes they don't. I had an ex-girlfriend. She had to get on unemployment for a few months. And she used to not intentionally lie about her, when you have to fill the thing out every 2 weeks to get paid. But, they ask very specific questions that are ridiculous. Like, oh, the job you worked 4 years ago, how many hours per week did you work exactly? Get the minute to this. It's like, who the fuck remembers these things? So she would just put in, I probably worked this many hours. And, well, they went and checked. They somehow went back into her history and checked. And they called her and they're like, yeah, you owe us this much money because you've been lying on your. And I was like, that's crazy. So it must just be luck of the draw because I've lied. I flat out lied on unemployment claims before, and they never, caught me up for it. So I think they just kind of once, maybe once every, it's a TSA, just once every so many people we're going to put a finger up your ass. Hopefully hopefully it's not you. It's your lucky day. And like, sometimes they just come after people. Sometimes they don't. They've been going after him for when he did file. Oh, I think that idea would just be if you just never file in the first place your entire life, you know? It goes like this: the Federal Reserve is not the government. They create the money. It is a private bank that no. Yeah, the Federal Reserve is, I think, the funniest part about America. Like the idea of, I think about like the very first dollar the Federal Reserve prints. Here's the dollar. Here you go, America. You now owe us $2, and then America goes, "Well, I only have $1. Can you give me $2 to pay you back?" The whole like it's a joke, but and it seems like nobody talks about the Federal Reserve anymore. To me, that's like old school. Like the old school conspiracy theorists and truthers are talking about the Federal Reserve. Nowadays, people are talking about the deep state and Hunter Biden's laptop. And Hunter Biden's laptop, I think the actual story about that is I don't think Hunter Biden took his fucking laptop into a shop to I don't think he's that stupid. I think he just fucked over the wrong people. And then they came out and said, "Hey, we'll put this shit out there." But the IRS is the collection agency. Yeah, I was complaining about because I think people might think that I only complain about left-wingers just to prove that I am equal and I hate everybody. I was complaining about Donald Trump. He posted something about he's going to start the ERS, the External Revenue Services, where they,
What is
their
that?
job is, the IRS collects taxes from us, the citizens.
Mhm.
Well, he's saying the ERS is going to be the ones that collect taxes and tariffs from other countries, external revenue.
But
My whole thing.
he said he wanted to like get rid of the IRS and all these things.
There we go. So my whole thing is Donald Trump has basically ran this entire campaign on cutting down the government, like which I'm down for. Let's get rid of as much government as we can. But now he's created a new agency for Elon and Vivek. He's created a new agency. If he makes this, like it's like, dude, you're creating all these new agencies. You're going to be out of office in 4 years, and then the next guy that comes in is just going to have a whole. It's kind of like, are you really getting rid of the government, or are you just replacing it with your own government?
Well, they're going to replace it with they're going to create a new government.
Let's see. The only time you have to contract is with the Federal Reserve is created by people who own the country, essentially the people who the government actually works for. Federal income tax only pays for the interest on the money printed. Yeah, no, I don't like the idea of him just making all these new. I also was talking about, I don't hate Elon like all the lefties do. I never really thought I just am very indifferent. I don't care. Twitter's still fine. I still use it. But I don't like that he's now all of a sudden in politics. Like, he's not a politician. Why is he getting his whole agency in the
Okay.
syrup?
So I do have to go because it's almost 8.
Oh, yeah.
In our plans.
We're like an hour 45 in.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We're only down to, whenever we're down to like 1 or 2 people in chat, we're fine. The More and Protomax are the last men standing as usual.
Thank you for coming.
The More, I feel like I'm cutting you off in the middle of a good run about the IRS. I feel bad. Okay, no, I think he's good. He said, nice to meet you. Ain't a great conversation. Yeah, The More, I still got to email you. I'll probably email you either tomorrow or sometime this weekend. If I don't do it before Tuesday, then I'd have you on next Tuesday. I have the picture of your email though, so don't worry. I will shoot you the email quick. You guys did great. All good. Right on. Right on. I might stick behind and see if there's anyone else or if there's anything else going on. I don't know. I'll get off soon, but Annie, if you're getting off, I'll let you click off. All right, I'm still here. Does my audio quality change? That's what I'm mostly curious about. Now that it's just me. Because I feel like in the streams that I do with Dirty White Boy, my audio quality, because it's connecting to his and along with the internet. No, okay, cool. So I still sound the same. That's good. I'm still figuring out this new microphone. That's been my big talk for the last few weeks. This microphone is new. Yeah, and it's got a whole bunch. It's got a really crazy, like, in-depth program for how to do the audio, and I'm still new. For a guy that played music, I never got into any kind of audio production. I don't really have much else to run through. Contract law is the key. What is contract law? I still need to start doing music streams. I've been talking about that forever. I don't know what to do with where you like play music. What I should start doing is when I do streams, I kind of want to start the stream with like a song. Like it would just be a video that I've been into or a song or a performance, and then I can get on, like the stream starts, here's a song, and then I jump on, kind of like an intro. There's another streamer that I watch and he does that, like your contract with your government. But doesn't the government kind of force you into the contract? It's, I never signed a government with my contract. I mean, I guess the day you're born, technically, that is the signing of the contract with your government, but it's not like, nobody chooses to be born. Yeah, birth certificate is a contract. So yeah, you're forced into the contract, essentially. Yeah, citizen is a contract, yeah. So we're all, the day you're born, you're essentially forced to sign a contract. I would really like to move to Japan. I don't know how I would do in Japan. I would also there's some places in Europe I think would be fun to live in too. There's a guy, an author that I like. He can you break the contracts by moving? You just move to another country. It would be, I would think, the best way to break it off with the contract. I think living in Germany would be interesting. I think that'd be a fun one. I always wanted to live in England, but nowadays I'm not too sure. It seems like England is kind of on the same path that America is on. They do not apply when you assert your rights. The contracts are void. I always forget what void. Doesn't void mean like no good? Like, you say null and void. Yeah, not valid or legally binding. Work-life balance in Japan is ass, but everyone smokes cigarettes and the women are beautiful. I'm not into Asian girls, but to me, Asian girls are very hit or miss. It's either a 10 or it's certainly not a 10. That's the way I've always kind of thought of it. I always thought Russian girls were very attractive. Like, if I had to pick another country to go find a girl in, I'd probably go to Russia. Get a blonde Russian girl. When you contest the contract. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people I'm afraid to contest that contract, honestly. I'm certainly not somebody that's, ever thought about taking a chance, like, just fucking not filing my taxes. I gotta file my tax return this year. I swear, I used to always get money back. I used to always file my taxes. I get like a few $100s, be like $300 to $500 or something. It was kind of cool. But now, ever since it seems like the last like 4 to 5 years, I owe money, which I don't know why. I'm not married. I work a job. I have a car that I'm the most basic you can get, but somehow I owe money. I guess that's probably why, because I'm not like contributing much in the way they want me to, but yeah, it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that anybody owes money around tax season time. Like, bro, what do you mean it's fucking tax season, dude? My whole life has been tax season. What do you mean now it's time? What do you mean now it's time to pay taxes? I've been paying taxes. Man, this girl has like 300 subscribers on her YouTube channel, which is crazy. That's more followers than she has on her Instagram. Usually, these people have more Instagram followers than. This would be a pretty hefty goal too. Getting this girl to agree to do an interview on the show. She was on that whatever podcast at one point, and that's like a fucking huge YouTube channel. So she definitely has a high mark for coming onto your show. These facts would make a normal family millions of dollars in a lifetime, but people are more than afraid of anything. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What law requires you to file? Yeah, there is no law. But I feel like that's just kind of how shit goes. There's a lot of things that there are no law that requires it, but you'll still get in trouble. It's like when people say, I wouldn't worry about this because the cops aren't allowed to do something. But it's like, dude, I think the cop is the guy with the gun. Like, he's allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. No, he's not allowed by law. But when it comes down to the jungle, when it's just me and this guy, he's the one with the gun. So I'm just going to do what he says. So I think that's kind of a similar thing. Like, no, there's no law that requires me to file taxes. But the IRS certainly has more power to fuck with my life than I have to fuck with theirs. Yeah, if you do not break the law, the court protects you. See, I don't think the court's going to protect. I mean, sure, there are cases where the court would, but just depending on who, the court certainly didn't protect Charlie Manson when he, and I'm not saying I'm going to get into any kind of story like Charles Manson, but the court certainly didn't protect Charles Manson when he did not commit the crimes that he was convicted of. Heard Joe Rogan talk about this. There's technically no law, but you'll still get in trouble because by agreeing to be a citizen, you accept responsibility or some shit to pay taxes. Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, there's no law that says file taxes, but the IRS can garnish my wages if they want to. I can't garnish, if we're not on an even, if I had a way to fuck with them back, then sure, but it's on the power scale. I don't have anything on them. What am I gonna do? It's kinda like just having to accept that you can't do shit about it. It's like when you have a bully and you have no friends, like, yeah, this bully's just gonna push me around, like, there's not much I could do about it. I can start working out, but, aside from that, they know they cannot touch you if you do not file, this is the law. Yeah, but I think my point is that I don't think they care that that's the law. That's my whole point. They don't care that that's the law. If you file, you've not given them authority. Yeah, but I think once you file once, it's over. Like the fact that I filed for the first time when I was 18. After doing that, that kinda locks you into a life of, now you're filing. Now you're in there. So, yeah, I think in a nice world the courts would punish them, and if you get the right judge. And when I say the right judge, I mean a normal judge. I bet you there are judges out there that would not punish the IRS. No, it does not. That is why they require you to file every year. Dude, you're gonna get me all hyped up, and I'm, like, not gonna file my taxes this year. Because I really don't feel like paying H&R Block. Like, that's the worst. And I don't feel like paying the government another couple $100. Dude, my car insurance is hella expensive. You can also demand your employer not to fund the federal income tax, do not deduct it. Yeah, I knew about that. You can have them not pull money out of your, have them not deduct it from your check. I think that would also depend on, like, how down your employer is to do that, you know? And then there's just also the fact that I think if you were to go, they might tell you, "No, we can't do that," but you just have to be a little bit like, "Hey, no, I'm," let them know that you mean business. I'm sure on the very first try, they try to be like, "Oh, well, we can't do that," and then you'd have to say, "No, hey, look, here's the deal." Be an interesting game being played. Yeah, it's just like a fear thing, There's no law, they scare you into it, and it seems to work very well. Most of the population is scared into it. There is no law. It requires you to. The Secret of Oz by Bill Still, The Wizard of Oz is about the Federal Reserve. That I could totally buy. The Wizard of Oz is a fucking classic. I think I have it on DVD over here. Yeah, they don't make movies like that anymore. And the social commentary in movies nowadays is not the same as it used to be. They used to do social commentary and, like, hidden meetings. They used to do that shit so well. Now, the Barbie movie is about fighting the patriarchy, and it says the word patriarchy like 74 times. The guy who wrote it was a political cartoonist. Okay, yeah, see, I didn't know that. So there's probably a lot of genius meanings in under the surface type stuff in Wizard of Oz that people will never pick up on. But to me, that's how it should be. If you have to dig for the secret meaning, then it's fun. But again, like the Barbie movie, if they just say the word patriarchy 74 times in the movie, it's not fun because you're not, there's no brain power required. You're not figuring shit out. I wonder if that Instagram girl's gonna copyright claim me for. I think I played like 2 seconds of her song that she just released today. How long have you known Annie? I've actually. The word known could be in quotes. Dude, I've never met Annie in real life. We live like 6 hours away. We met, like internet met on Instagram. So this Disco Acid Cult TV thing, like I was saying, there's an original Instagram page called Disco Acid Cult without the TV, which was basically just my Charles Manson page. I would just make edits of Charles Manson interviews. I would do funny things, like I would take clips from Charles Manson interviews and Joe Biden interviews, and I'd clip them together to make it sound like they're talking shit to each other and do like a who would win in a fight, Charlie Manson or, Joe Biden, stuff like that. But, she followed the page. I would imagine, she probably replied to a story saying like, haha, or something, and we started talking. And then when I started streaming, I decided I wanted to do a YouTube thing. And, when I first went to test out the stream, with my old microphone and my old computer and whatever, I wasn't sure how the audio sounded. So I messaged her and I said, "Hey, if I go live, will you get in chat and tell me if the audio sounds fine?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." So then she was in chat and she said, "Can you get me on screen? Is there any way that I can like come on just so we can actually talk?" And then I did. And, the whole stream at this point, I privated it. So it was kind of like we just had like a Skype call. And then she was like, "Oh, we should, if you're down, you should let me join in on the streams." And then I said, "Sure." We used to stream more consistently. Usually nowadays she's on Thursdays if she can make it. Like I think the last 2 weeks she wasn't able to make it. Tonight she was on. It's probably been like a year. It might be like 2. I think she sent me like 2 birthday presents. Now, I think it's been 2 birthdays. I don't know, probably like a year and a half, and the first time it was just so happened to be close up to my birthday. Yeah, no, she's cool. She's the LA person of the bunch. We used to have another guy that would stream with us. His name was Mark. He was East Coast, but Mark had to pull out just for I think his life's just been kind of busy lately, and so he wasn't able to keep doing it every week. Yeah, she did date 01. I need to stop doing this thing where I talk about how I need to leave for like an hour and then I never actually do it. So I probably got to get out of here. I think now on YouTube it's probably just Protomax, and then on Twitch is the more I like that you're on Twitch. You're like the Twitch chat now, which is always good because Twitch I never really like I said I never really focused on the Twitch. But I feel like getting interaction, any kind of engagement on the Twitch stream is a good thing. It's something that the user interface of Twitch, the website itself is I'm technologically retarded. I don't understand all this like technology stuff. And so the Twitch like customization and all that, it's very hard for like I don't know how to customize the page and make it look cool and official. But it would be cool to get more people on the Twitch. I do need to start taking it more seriously. Sounds good, bro. Yeah, a few people dropping through. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm definitely gonna get out of here. Ever hear the one that Jimi Hendrix is Morgan Freeman? I have not heard that one, but that actually is hilarious and maybe the most believable one so far. Well, the most believable one specifically, I would totally understand if people think Barbara Bush is a dude. I know you said all the first ladies, but Barbara Bush is at the top of that list. But Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman, I could see that. One of the things that it makes it hard for me to believe that things like this, like Jimi Hendrix is Morgan Freeman, is that means this is like the most talented guy on the planet. Like, not only are you one of the greatest guitarists of all time, but now you're also one of the greatest actors of all time. That's 2 times the amount of talent that I'm now stuffing into one body. That's kind of the craziest concept about it to me. Stream peaked at around 7 viewers on YouTube. Yeah, we're still in single. I'm still in 7 viewers on YouTube, and I'm talking about getting, like, Instagram girls with 300,000 subscribers, trying to get them on YouTube. It's gotta be a lucky thing, though. Like, I'm hoping that I just message one of these girls, and they just, like, they think I'm cute or something, and so they're just like, "Oh, yeah, sure, why not?" And they just that would be, like, the big break, and then she would post the link to her followers, and they'd go check it out. The one that will blow your mind as far as the actor-based reality topic is yeah, I'm looking forward to this one real quick. Tell me this one before I go. That's what it is. Blow my mind really quick, and then I'll get out of here. Cause yeah, dude, Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman. I mean, those, dude, that's like top 5 black people in the world, in my opinion. Like throughout, like Black history, like Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman should be in the top 5. Try the scientist shit about the 3-6-9. Yeah, I am gonna do that. That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna write those goals down, and the goal is gonna be 10K subscribers on YouTube. I don't remember if it was Tesla or if it was somebody saying that Tesla said that, or somebody saying that the idea comes from the 369 theory. Adolf Hitler being Walt Disney is hilarious because didn't Walt Disney also hate Jewish? Who was Walt Disney like extremely racist against? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure honestly, I did myself no favors with algorithm, I'm sure, by making this the YouTube channel, because this YouTube channel I've had since, like, 2015 or 2016, and it's just been kind of sitting stagnant. I've just been using it to watch videos on. I put the old Ali Gold songs on it, but I feel like I should have made an entirely brand new YouTube page, but I decided to use the one that's been sitting since, like, 2016. But I did that because there was, like, 70 subscribers on it, so I got a kind of like a 70 subscriber head start. But, yeah, I was not smart, I don't think, to make this I should have made an entirely new YouTube page with, like, a new email address or whatever. Yeah, I would imagine once you hit 1,000, it kinda starts picking up. Yeah, Walt Disney, that would make the most sense that he is Hitler because, 'cause they share their hatred of the Jewish people. The key is his brother, his wife, and family are all in both crews. Man, imagine being Hitler and Walt Disney. You're like the guy that's known as the most evil person in the history of the world, and you're the guy that created Mickey Mouse. Like, do people love you or hate you at that point? If people can separate art from the artist, I tell you, then they would know. They would know how to actually feel about that stuff. But separating art from the artist is not a thing that anybody can do anymore. So I'd imagine people would just hate Walt Disney. That's how that would go. Just nobody would like Walt Disney anymore. And you're actually a Roosevelt. You saying I'm a Roosevelt? Dude, whatever people say about Roosevelt, it is a really cool name. It's a great last name. No, Hitler, Disney, Roosevelt. Oh, I see what you're saying. So they're also Franklin D. Roosevelt? That seems like a long time for people to live too. You know, that's like 3 lifetimes worth of accomplishments or, you know, whatever you wanna call them, accomplishments or crimes or sins or oh, Teddy. You're saying he's Teddy. Good old Theodore. Theodore was the fat one, right? I think so. Yeah, Theodore is the fat Roosevelt with the monocle. Looks like the Monopoly guy. Theodore Roosevelt, I could see him looking like, oh, okay, you're just saying just a Roosevelt in general. It's not Teddy or Franklin. Okay. That I could see because it seems like, you know, there's all these families that they're kind of all, you know, what's the famous saying? It's one big club and you're not invited. And they all seem to be related. They're all in the same families and it even goes like to famous people, you know, like a stupid one is I think I heard that Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance is like cousins with Joe Rogan. It's like, wait, what the fuck? How does that even work out? But yeah, it's all a club. I would say the internet kind of evens the playing field a tiny bit, but not necessarily because now all the families kind of found a way to monopolize the internet as it is. Some people get lucky and break through. Some people start a YouTube channel or a podcast and they can pick up on it. But generally, if you're not a part of the club, or if you're not part of the family, yeah, all presidents, but like 2 are all related. Actor-based reality, great topic. Who are these people? Yeah, the presidents all being related, I think is super weird. I heard I should try to find the video again. There was a video I saw about a lot of like there's a lot of weird numerology around Donald Trump and his family. Actor-based reality theory mostly refers to actor network theory, a sociological concept that views all elements within a social situation, including humans and non-human objects, as equally important actors that interact and create networks, meaning there's no hierarchy between them. Everything contributes to the overall social dynamic. Supposedly, all the presidents are related through common ancestors going back to the English kings. I think there are some. I've heard a theory, or some people talk about how England technically still rules America. Like America's not really the one in charge. It still all goes back to England. They duplicate the same presidents multiple times with different names. Never heard of that definition. Yeah, the definition came from Google, by the way, so keep in mind, you know, that's literally the first thing that came up when I typed it in. And, you know, Google is Google. I Google everything, but Google is Google. People theorize that America is simply an extension and continuation of the British family's rule. Yeah, I think I just said that before you put that in. Yeah, England still technically rules the world. It's still the family. It's still the monarchy. But they just kind of moved it over to North America. All right. This time I got to get out of here. I got to go. I got to get the fuck off of here. I got to split. I got to take off. I got to skedaddle. I'm sure the more is typing in one more thing. I would imagine. I'll let this come through. I'll let this chat come through, and then Okay, cool. Right on. We're out. We're out. Peace. Peace. Protomax. Thanks for hanging out like always. I'm gonna hit the outro. You guys are free to leave anytime, but the outro is fucking sick. I'm just kidding. No, but it is a great track. It's a great fucking song. Great idea to use this song for the outro.
And we're all here today to groove and have a beautiful time together, and that it's only the beginning.